everyone, and welcome to Unique Peace. I am Janice. I am a Reiki Master Teacher here on Long Island, New York, and I am also a podcast host. Today, I am joined by the wonderful Paula Vail. Paula Vail is the founder of Wellness Inspired Publishing, as well as Wellness Inspired. She is the TV and radio host for the show Elevating Your Life with Paula Vail. Paula Vail, Paula has also authored Why Am I So Happy and co-authored America's Leading Ladies Who Positively Impact Our World. She is a Reiki Master Teacher, an inspirational speaker, and a former restaurateur. So join me in welcoming Paula to the show. Welcome, Paula.
Hi, hello. I am just so honored to be on your show, my dear.
How are you today?
Doing good, thank you. Doing great.
And here on Unique Peace, we like to talk about how you got to where you are.
Oh boy. Yep. Okay. There's yeah. Let me start at the very, very beginning. I was a premature baby. I weighed less than 3 pounds. My parents were told by the doctor, don't expect her to survive the night.
Oh,
And I'm here. And so that kind of gave me an attitude in life. I'm grateful to be here and I'm going to be a positive energy in the world. I mean, it just really did a lot. Um, I was a long time restaurateur. I started working in a restaurant in college and then managed it and then bought it. I just loved it. And then later, after I sold my restaurant and during my restaurant, I became a Reiki Master Teacher to help my sweet dog that was very ill. Someone said you should learn Reiki. I had her 2 more years. She was 16. She had had a tumor removed. She could hardly walk. I learned Reiki and it helped her so much. I had her 2 more years and I fell in love with Reiki. It is beyond words wonderful. I have taught classes in the US. I've taught classes in other countries. My favorite place to do Reiki is in Sedona, Arizona, but I just love it. And it has been life-changing for me. I love it. And then it was after I sold my restaurant, I was contacted by a radio network. And they said, would you like to do a show about Reiki? And I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And so I started doing that and I loved it. And then I later kind of moved the show to be more, more different topics. And I've been doing with KMET, where it's on AM radio and TV. I've been with them 9 years now. And I love it. I just, get to meet wonderful people and be an inspiration and sharing information. So that has really been amazing for me. And I just love it, interviewing people around the world. And it was so funny when I first was going to start doing the show. I wanted to end the show with love, hugs, and blessings. And I thought, everybody's going to think I'm a weirdo if I tell them I love them. And then after about a month, I said, you know what? I don't care. I have to be me.
absolutely.
That's what I do. And it was about 5 years ago. I had all my life since high school in my English class said, someday I'm going to write a book. And I had done, co-authored, but then that's when I said, okay, I'm going to write my book. And I wrote my book called Why Am I So Happy? And it has received awards around the world from the Global Book Association in the US. It's been featured in Times Square. It just received a gold award at the book fair in Berlin. and I never dreamed any of that would happen. And in the book, it's a lot of my personal challenges
Yes, I've
that
read.
I've gone through in my life. But it's, just amazing the direction we can go in life that we may never even have dreamed of. I didn't know I'd be a restaurant owner, but I actually loved it. And it made me realize I have a server's heart. I loved it.
That is a very cool way of approaching that. Because when I was reading your book, and I do want to touch on some of the things, having a server's heart and then going into Reiki,
Hmm.
that we,
Yes.
I mean, as we are here to serve, and sometimes we could get annoyed with that because we want to be served too. We want that reciprocity. But going in with that, I like to make people happy. I like to make people feel better. I like to feel like I'm making a difference. I love that term,
Yes.
heart. That is.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
And with that caring and loving to do that for others, I mean, we gain from that too. That is so beautiful. And what I've seen over the years with Reiki is so wonderful. But it's a beautiful thing for us to have a server's heart and to, serve, not asking anything in return, just the joy and what it feels to serve others. It's a beautiful gift for those that receive and for the
So,
giver, I believe.
exactly. I agree wholeheartedly. Reiki is, for me, it was a lifesaver in many ways, and I am so blessed to be able to share that with others in many of the same anything that I've overcome. I'm glad that I can use that gift to help others.
Yes. And isn't it amazing how Reiki, it's also very scientifically based,
Yeah,
you know? It's our energy field, and our energy field tells our DNA what to do.
yeah.
That's, and there has been so much proven scientifically, so it's not something that's woo-woo, it's a for real. And there are studies that have been done. And it's amazing. When I first learned Reiki, I read how great it is for plants, and I've never been real good with plants. So I'm making the plants in my living room. Oh my gosh, they were just
Mhm.
going all over.
It is the truth. I mean, you can send Reiki to people distantly. You can Reiki your food. It's much like prayer, blessing the food and nourishing it. I haven't Reiki any of my plants, and I'm like you. I have a little bit of a challenge with keeping indoor plants alive. I always joke with my mom. If it's outside, they have a fighting chance with the
Yeah.
rain.
Oh, we're a lot alike, my energy sister. Yeah. Oh.
Um, so in your book, I want to, there's some difficult moments, and I want to touch on them before we define peace, because I'm sure that along the way, these moments have helped define how you define peace and how you find it and bring it to others. You had a rough patch with your husband and ended up having to leave him.
Mhm.
And that all while owning a business and running a business.
Yeah.
That has got to be an extreme challenge, as you noted in your book. Um, what gave you the courage to do that? Was that in the midst of learning how to be a Reiki master, or was that what led to?
Um, that was before I'd learned Reiki. And if only I had known Reiki then. I've always wished I had known it then. Life was great. He loved his job. I loved my work at the restaurant. We had just bought a new home, and he had Crohn's disease, and it got very painful. He had a surgery. They took out like a foot of his intestines. He got addicted to the pain pills. And then added vodka, got depressed, and got dangerous. And I had to leave to protect my kids.
Absolutely. That is.
And then sadly, he passed away at the age of around 34. Yeah.
Oh, that's so young.
But life can turn on us. It can be one thing one moment and just a completely different thing one moment. Yeah.
And you also in your book talk about you had a lot of pivots in life.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of walk us through some of those major pivots that have, led you to be so happy.
Yeah. Well, I was in junior high. I was bullied a lot. I was made fun of. Sometimes notes were put on my back. In the 8th grade, I was so shy, I didn't even take my coat off at school. And had just a lot of trauma from that. And I had a dear aunt and uncle, and I would spend summers with them, holidays, and I adored them so much. And my uncle helped me get through that, was always there for counsel. And one day I said, you know what? Like me or not, I'm going to be Paula. And that literally set me free. It was like, I'm just going to be me, and I'm going to be happy. And, I'm going to be grateful for my good friends. And, it really taught me a lot. I'm just going to be me. And it was pretty interesting. Years later at a high school reunion, I had a gentleman come up to me and say, Paula, I just want to say I'm sorry I bullied you in school. And I said to him, I asked a question I had wanted to ask my whole life. Why? Why did you bully me? And he said, because you were shy, you were nice, and it was easy. And I was the one that had problems. And it was great to get that answer. So, that just really changed me to just say, I'm just going to be me, because we all have our own unique beauty, our own unique, wonderful things inside us. And, we don't need to be like everybody else. Just be ourselves, be unique, and be wonderful. And then I had another challenge when I was about 16. That dear uncle that I adored, he had worked 6 days a week his whole life. He was near retirement, all these things planned that they were going to do. And then about 4 or 5 months before he was going to retire, brain cancer. And he was gone a few months later. And I was so angry at the world. I was so angry at the world. I even considered suicide. I was in my car and I thought, I'm just going to drive off the road. I'm so angry. And then I realized, should I be angry that I lost him, or should I be grateful that I had him in my life?
Oh, I love that.
Look at this 2 different ways. And I chose grateful. And that also taught me a great lesson in life. We can base our happiness and our joys on when I get this, when I accomplish this, when this happens, I'm going to be happy. Be happy in the moment. And you know what, with life, yes, plan ahead, think of the future, do what you want to do to set that up, but also cherish today and enjoy today, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. That taught me that huge lesson, and I am really grateful for that. The one hand is what we're striving for, what our goals are, which are beautiful. But the other hand can be wide open to things that can manifest that we may not even have dreamed of. When I was in college, I was going to be an accountant. I had it all figured out. I got my accounting degree. But you know what? I fell in love with the restaurant business. I fell in love with taking care of my customers. And the accounting came in good.
The accounting sound like
it. We can find a passion we did not know we had. Just like my joy with Reiki, my joy with being a show host. Those were all things I hadn't imagined when I was young. And it's so awesome to realize that. And that can be any age. We can, step into something new and oh my gosh, and discover a new joy and a new passion. And having the door open for that is just a huge key in life, I believe.
I absolutely agree. And having such a positive mind frame and mindset, how do you define peace personally for yourself?
I would say and this is something, that I kind of had to realize in life, is to have peace, because in a way it's like life is a river and we're flowing down the river, and the water feels good, it's wonderful. A rock, a stick, that hurts. Things will happen that hurt us, and a lot of times these things that happen that we bump into or come to us, we may not have any control of it. And so for me to find peace in those moments is to, when I have challenges, when those bumps come, when that pain comes or that sadness, acknowledge it, accept this has happened, and then passionately look at it and say, okay, what can I do to help with this or to get through this? And realize there is also what I can't do, that I can't fix this. I can't change this from happening. And realize that, and just move on and have peace, and just accept it and know you're going to continue. You're going to continue today. You're going to continue taking the steps, and you're going to continue to be grateful for what you have that is positive in your life. It's so easy to just focus on that negative when we do have the positive. And something I talk about in the book is happiness triggers. We all have our own happiness triggers, and giving ourselves those can make a huge difference when we are feeling down. For example, like for me, I have my favorite songs I listen to. So I turn on my songs and I'm singing and I'm dancing, and there you go. It can set the whole tone of my energy.
Yes.
And it could be something like working in a yard or hiking or painting or cooking. We all have our own happiness triggers, and taking the time to give ourselves those, especially if it's a down day, can just totally change the energy. And you know what? When we change that energy and move our vibration higher, because that's it, we are in vibration levels.
Absolutely.
angry, the sad, the joyful, the kind. That's energy. And when we move ourselves up in a higher energy level, do you know what? There's going to be more of that energy coming to us. It's just because we're going to be up there and it's going to attract, we're going to feel it. And I've always got a kick out of just a smile in a room full of people can change the energy of that room. You know, I'm 66 now and still a weirdo. And I just, I'll be at the grocery store and there's a good song on and I'm dancing while I shop, and people will,
Okay.
and it can put some smiles on faces. But I'm just being me and loving it.
So, with the happiness triggers, the next question is, how do you bring peace into your own life? So the happiness trigger sounds like it would be twofold. So we'll get to that. We'll return to that in a minute, but I want to know how you bring peace into your own life. Based on your definition, how would you?
I would say that it would be, I guess, in evaluating and doing what I can to affect or make a difference in things and accepting what I can't. That brings me peace. Doing for others brings me peace, brings me joy. But I think peace, it's just evaluating and, the ups and downs and doing what I can to make a difference and accepting what I can't make a difference in. And I think that brings me peace.
Beautiful. And so the next question kind of connects the happiness triggers. And in my mind, you could tell me if I'm off base, but those happiness triggers that you have that bring you happiness, they're also bringing other people happiness.
Yes.
So how do you bring peace to others? And would you say those triggers come into play?
Oh, that's a great question. How would I bring peace to others with that? I would say in sharing the words or feelings for them, such as caring, physically maybe sharing a hug, but giving others some positivity, caring, kindness, and I guess maybe even helping them realize their beauty and their goodness and what they have in them, and that I see that in there, that I value them. And I think something like that, because I think sometimes a person can have so much going on and then just like, oh no. And it could make a world of difference to know I'm cared about and I'm valued and I'm going to get through this. So I would say that might be it.
And so I also like to ask, what's in your toolbox? So I'm going to give you a couple of examples, because I think that you do have grandchildren. So if you're like one of your grandchildren is down or they're fighting or it's just too tense right now, how would you bring peace to that situation and help teach them how to bring peace to themselves?
I would say let them know they can talk to me. They can tell me how they feel. And I can let them know, make sure they know how much I love and value them. And just give them the outlet of being able to share how they feel and what they're looking for or needs are, and just giving them positive, caring love. And a fun thing that recently happened with my granddaughter. I was visiting and we were at the grocery store and I started dancing. And guess what? She started dancing.
Why not?
So I have been an influence on her. That made my day. Oh my gosh. But just being there and know that they are loved unconditionally. And none of us are perfect. And they don't have to try to strive to be perfect. Just be themselves. Yeah.
That is a big thing nowadays. That whole perfectionism in striving for perfection, and it's just not possible. There isn't.
Yes.
It's an illusion.
Yeah.
Is that
And with striving for it and not getting it, it's just, yeah, it'll just beat us up.
absolutely, absolutely. And the second example or scenario would be taking it back to the restaurant. Because restaurants, I mean, my mom has worked in the bar and restaurant industry a good chunk of my life. She doesn't anymore. Now she drives a school bus.
Oh, how fun. How
um,
fun.
but going back there, that's high stress, high stakes. People are sometimes that you get those customers that are just difficult.
Oh, yeah.
How would you bring peace to that situation or tell? I mean, when I was a server, my mom, it's very funny because my mom never thought I would take the job as a server because I just don't have that temperament.
Mhm.
Believe it or not, I wasn't always as and so it taught me a lot about patience and I'm not gonna lie. And so that's like I was a newbie and
Mhm.
I ran into some very not nice people. And I was wearing a big button that says, "Please be patient." I'm new.
Yeah. Yeah. And and there's a percentage. I mean, you had, the not nice people and nice and then awesome blessings, wonderful people. But when there would be a not nice person, I was like, okay, I'm not going to get upset. I have a challenge. I'm going to put a smile on that person's face. And it became a challenge for me. And most of the time I'd succeed. I'm sure there were times I didn't, but that's how I looked at it. I'm not going to let them, attack or criticize me. They can do it, but that's something with them. It's nothing I'm doing. And I'm just going to challenge to myself to put a smile on their face because they obviously need some caring. And talking restaurant, I have to share. Worst thing I ever did. It was Italian food, and we had these big plates of pasta. I was like 23 years old, and I'm serving, and one plate went this way, one went that way, and a plate of spaghetti went in a woman's open purse.
Oh no.
Yeah. And here's a great example of a customer, how they could react. I went in the kitchen, I was crying. She was actually a teacher at a local college.
Okay.
It was her etiquette class. They'd come in for lunch. I'm in the kitchen crying. She came in there and hugged me. What an example she made for her students. I mean, it could have went. And she just, what that did for my heart. How kind.
That is extremely kind.
She was a great example to her students. She just forgave me. She wasn't upset, gave me a hug. Yeah.
Taught her something too. Keep your purse closed.
Yeah. Especially when Paula's around. Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah. So one example.
That's a very good example of you personally taking it as a challenge. Um, you would probably, I'm guessing, take and coach somebody, either a newbie or somebody who's new to your restaurant or bar, and
Yes,
coach them like, hey, don't let this get to you. This says more
yes,
about than about you. If you radiate positivity and peace, maybe that'll rub off on them, or just
yes,
get through that table as peacefully as possible.
yes, yes. And I really taught the attitude of teamwork. You know, you could be going by someone else's table and see an empty glass. You can stop and fill that glass, give that customer some water, because we're a team. And next week, that customer may be your customer. You
Yeah.
know, we're all a team. And, you know, that really worked well in the restaurant.
What are some of the biggest things being peaceful has taught you? Are there any scenarios or situations you've been in where you're like, oh, that could have went sideways if I hadn't found a way to bring peace into the situation?
Um, you mean in the restaurant
In
or,
general, in your life in general.
oh, well, I think just in when I had it, you know, there were challenges sometimes being the manager and owner of the restaurant. And sometimes I had to make some serious decisions. And sometimes I had to really say, okay, how can I help this person? How can I help this situation? And by coming up with what I felt was the right thing and, you know, had it work out, that that really taught me that when there is a situation or something, I need to sit back and look at it and think it through instead of rushing to, oh, how I'm going to react. I think what I learned was to sit back, relax, think it through, and then make the steps I'm going to make in a situation.
And what has Reiki taught you about peace? I know what it's taught me about peace. What has it taught you about peace?
What has it taught me
What has it taught you
about
about
what, dear?
what has Reiki taught you about peace?
Oh, peace. Oh, wow.
Is that right?
I love that. Great question. In a way, Reiki is peace. It really is. In a way, it is. When we activate our Reiki, surround ourselves in a Reiki bubble, share Reiki, it brings peace. It brings calm. It brings caring. And what I've loved is also giving Reiki to animals, what it does for animals. But yeah, Reiki, it really is peace. It is love. And I was in Africa once and I gave Reiki to a giraffe out in the park. And he was following me around. It was really amazing. We had stopped. Animals love it. Growing up in Centralia, Washington, we had a lot of deer on the property. And one time when I first learned Reiki, I was giving Reiki out uh, to a deer that was laying down in the yard, and he just laid down.
Yes,
And
please.
he was lower. Yeah, but Reiki is, and I just, to anyone out there listening, if you're not familiar with Reiki or never tried it, I really highly recommend it. It's life changing. It really is.
Yes.
And it's something that we can all experience. We could all learn if we want to. It is so life changing. I'm so grateful to have had that come into my life. It is. 26 years now. Yeah.
Nice. Love that.
Love it, love it, love it.
Is there anything you would like, anything else, any other thoughts on peace that you would like to share with us today?
I guess I would say peace isn't something that any of us can't have. It is there. And it's not outside us. It's inside us. We can make that choice. And we have that in us. And it can be from thinking about what you value in yourself. Be grateful for yourself. I've always been huge on gratitude. I start every morning with thinking of something I'm grateful for. It can be something as simple as you have food in the refrigerator. Not everyone has that. And I've been on a mission trip in Africa, and what you see, I mean, not everyone, just thinking about something every morning that you're grateful for can set the tone of your whole day. It really can.
Yes. Gratitude is like when people choose words of the year, I don't think that word has ever not been chosen in this house.
I love it. I love it.
Among other words like peace and joy and abundance.
Yep.
But gratitude is, you got to be thankful for what you have and more comes in.
Yes. Yes. Wise words.
So, thank you so much, Paula, for coming on and talking peace with me today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being so awesome and for your awesome show. I am so grateful, my energy sister.
I am grateful for you as well. And I invite everyone to check out your book, Why Am I So Happy? We've included the link below directly to it. You can check it out. It's really, I read it in a day and a half. So it's not long, but it is full of a lot of lessons and a lot of tidbits and some of those happiness triggers examples.
Yeah. And I will share a little secret with you.
Yes.
Something everyone can watch for a movie about my book.
Oh.
There is interest in a movie being made. So we'll just see what flows.
Absolutely. And
I'm so honored to have, a film company interested in doing it. So we shall see. How fun.
And we will keep the listeners informed. I'm excited. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm going to put Paula in the green room. Don't go anywhere, Paula. We'll be right back. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today on Unique Peace. I'm hopeful that you learned about being happy and being peaceful and navigating life's challenges with me today. And next week, we will see you again.